And it's a very cloudy day right here in the city of Ikenne. Star Stadium is the home ground or the host ground for us right here in the 2024-2025 NWFL Premiership Super 6. And the game that we're bringing to you live this morning is the game between Naija Ratels of the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT, and of course that of Edo Queens, the defending champions from the ancient city of Benin. Good morning wherever you're watching this broadcast from, whether you're watching us from the broadcast on YouTube or that on Star Times. We're live this morning and it's match day 3 where we're bringing to you Naija Ratels versus Edo Queens, Naija Amazons versus Naija Ratels, and of course Bayelsa Queens versus Remo Stars. Those are the games that will be coming up later on today. Well, Naija Ratels versus Edo Queens will be the game this morning. Now, this is the league table after 2 match days prosecuted on this ground. Remo Stars, the home team, are surprisingly leading the log by 6 points after 2 games played, 6-6, and of course followed by Naija Amazons, Bayelsa Queens, and Edo Queens, defending champions, surprisingly 7-time champions in Rivers Angels, both have just a point for themselves. And of course, we have Naija Ratels, who are yet to get a single point this time around. Of course, you can see the fans from the ancient city of Benin, talking about Edo Queens fans here waiting to see whether they can kickstart themselves with a win today or kickstart our day with a win, of course, as they look to retain the title they won in Yenagua last season, talking about the Benin Arsenal. My name is Joy Ojablusudoifore, and I'm going to be your lead commentary this morning, bringing you proceedings from the Remo Stars ground, and I am paired this morning with the lovely Dorcas Kokai, who is going to be my caller for today. Dorcas, how are you feeling? A wonderful weather we have today.
I mean, wonderful weather. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone listening. It's fantastic to be here to bring, the rest of the updates here at the Remo Star Stadium. It's going to be another feisty day. Edo will be looking to get their first win here, while same as Naija Ratels, because they haven't won any game so far. So it's going to be a clash where these two sides want to make a statement, at least get their first wins, and see where that will take them from here. But lovely weather. This is the kind of weather we want to see the girls play in.
I think we spoke too soon, because already looking as if the sun is coming. I was trying to show out very soon. But yes, before the game will kick start, let's remind you that Edo Queens are defending champions, and after 2 match games played, they can just boast of 1 point after they lost on match day 1 to Remo Stars ladies. And of course, they drew yesterday on this ground to 7-time champions Rivers Angels. And of course, the other team, who are going to be the home team for this fixture, talking about Naija Ratels, are yet to pick up any points in Ikenne, as they lost match they won to Naija Amazons 2-1. It ended in favor of the Solid Babes. And of course, yesterday they lost to the host team, or we call them the home team for the day, talking about Remo Stars ladies, also by a lone goal yesterday. So yes, we're getting set to welcome the ladies who would be starting off today for us. And of course, after this fixture, we'll definitely be bringing you that between Rivers Angels later on today. We're live with the girls proceeding just behind the match commission, and of course the 4 referees who would be deciding or preceding this game today would be of course centered by center referee Omotoye Tosin from Osun State. She is going to be our center referee today. And you can see the girls from Abuja in their yellow and green striped jersey and shorts. And of course, the girls from Benin are going to be repeating what they wore yesterday in terms of colors: red jerseys, red shorts, red socks, and a little bit of yellow stripes there. Consider the starting lineup for Naija Ratels. Of course, with 3 changes made to the team that started yesterday in goalkeeping position, especially Faith Omilana is starting today ahead of the person who started on her behalf. So we have Oshe Pauline, we have Sibe Rita, the only person to have scored for them so far in this competition, Nora Davis, and of course the rest of the players that would be prosecuting this game for Naija Ratels this morning would be Adebayo, Ikpai, Adan Nawachuko, Glory, Sunday, Sofiat Bankole, and of course finally Grace Sally. You can see the officials I mentioned earlier on. Omotoye Oluwatosin from Osun State is going to be our center, and of course flagged by other referees including James Njoku and of course Obien, who would be assisting her from the other parts of the pitch. Of course, the away side, the defending champions, would have Ujoma I beg your pardon. We have Akpobaro, we have Husseini, we have Rebecca Adebilemi, we have Titus Happiness Adebi, we have Anja Mary, we have Emen Essien, Ijoke Okeke, Amarachi also starting that one, and of course Goodness Osigwe, and that is 7 changes made to 6 changes, I beg your pardon, made to the starting lineup of Edo Queens, different from what started against, or the ones who started against Rivers Angels yesterday. Now 6 changes is a statement made by the head coach, talking about Mary Adoko, don't you think, Dorcas?
Oh yeah, because we do know how a squad, rich in squad that Edo Queens are, and they have shown that today, looking at how many changes they've made. They have the players and they all know that for sure. So yeah, I think it's going to be a game where they see
on our screen right there. Sorry for cutting you short. That's the coach of Naija Ratels, talking about Samson Keshi, or Samson Mawa Keshi, as he's like to be called. He is definitely going to be looking to have a better game, and of course Moses Adoko, who is a non-winner in this competition, having won it with Bielsa in 2022, and of course Edo Queens last season, looking to repeat that feat with the same team he won it with last season, talking about Edo Queens. Not having a brilliant start to their title, that's their title defense, Edo Queens, but they'll be looking to change that particular feat. Remember that they went on to win last season despite just 1 win in all competition or all games played, but they managed to snatch that one in Yenogwa last season. Do you think they'll be able to repeat such a feat in Ikene, looking at how they've started so far?
Well, I really cannot tell. They haven't had the best start to life here in Ikene, so I cannot exactly tell. But they do have the quality, like we talked about, on the bench and everywhere else. You could see that they have that rich vein of quality, but they haven't exactly shown that to us so far. So I really cannot tell, because it's quite difficult to tell. Ramo Stars are the only team to have won 2 games so far this in the Super 6, and the rest of them are still finding it difficult to match up. So for now, it's not exactly explicit to tell who would eventually go home with the title.
Well, Edo Queens had got us started this morning, of course, and we're seeing on our screens that the very first foul and set piece will be that for Naija Ratels, taken by the captain of the side, Olubumi Oladeje. And of course, they're still with the ball, Naija Ratels. But Edo Queens, well, that's an Edo Queen goalkeeper with her jersey looking almost similar to that of Naija Ratels. That's Uzoma, who was substituted at halftime yesterday to replace a teammate who we were used to starting, talking about Marufa Ademola starting for Edo Queens in game 1 and of course game 2 yesterday. But of course, due to some very expensive mistakes from our end, including the one that led to that own goal scored by Uroko yesterday. She was substituted at halftime, and of course, the coach, talking about Moses Aduko, is trusting Uzoma today to guard the sticks. But Edo Queens are still with the ball, looking to make an early statement in this game against the Whooping Girls. You can ask me of the Super 16. That's in 7 games played. Since they started participating in the Super 6, they have not won a single game. They've lost all 7 games they've played before today. This is going to be their 8th game in the Super 6. And for Edo Queens, like I mentioned earlier on, last season with 5 games played in the Super 6, they had just 1 win, but somehow managed to get themselves the title. Now Edo Queens are with the ball again, and that is Goodness Osigwe, who came into this competition with 5 goals, starting from the bench in the first 2 games. Today, with everything at stake, Moses Adokwa has decided to trust her to start, and of course, try to get them their first win in this competition. And that's Miracle Sen with the ball. But the referee would signal that that particular ball into the box would be a foul against Omilana in her goal post. A very good cross from Husseini there, but Edo Queens would have to wait for another opportunity from Okeke or the rest of the team to get their first goal. And now that is Naija Ratels with the ball. Captain Olabumi trying to push forward, but the execution is not, I know, as she planned in her head, because I mean she thought she would have done better with that ball right there. And that is Sofiat Bankole, one of the players to look out for in this competition. One of those players who was really instrumental into getting Naija Ratels into the Super 6 against all odds this season.
Well, they really do have players that I said before. Coming into this very competition, they could be players to watch, but here they are struggling. It was Bankole earlier who had a chance. I thought she should have done better, but she opted to take a strike, but it was just too weak and wouldn't trouble at all Ijoma Uzoma, who was in goal for Edo Queens.
Now Edo Queens are back with the ball, but Captain Olabumi Oladeji is there to douse any threat. And that's Sibe Rita, who has made history in this competition as the first player to score for the 2024-2025 edition of this competition. The first player to score for Naija Ratels ever in the Super 6. Remember, we mentioned they've played 7 games so far, 5 in the previous edition. And of course, she scored 1 on Matchday 1 for them. Now with 2 games played, she's their only goal scorer and looking to help them get another goal right here. But Edo Queens are the one who would miss out on capitalizing on that defensive chance, with Captain Olubumi there to prevent Okeke from capitalizing on that cross into the box. But Edo Queens are still with the ball and would get a throw in. A corner kick this time around, corner taken. And that's a block right there from Naija Ratels, who are putting everybody on the line there to prevent an early goal. I mean, if there's a goal in the 5th or the 6th minute, it would beat the record we have in this competition of them scoring the fastest goal we've had so far, Dorcas, in 13th minutes.
Yeah, that will be the case if that eventually happened. I really thought that that was going to go into the back of the net, because we saw multiple blocks of that very ball. Edo Queens tried as much as possible to hit it into the back of the net. It was really, really close. Well, Naija Ratels did what they had to do, cleared their lines, even if it was crappy, which they did eventually, of course. But Edo Queens will go back, regroup, and try again to see if they can get the earliest goal of this very Super 6.
I mean, bodies, multiple bodies on the line right there to block every attempt at goal that Edo Queens attempted right there. And the goalkeeper for Naija Ratels, talking about Faith Omilano, is on the pitch. Milano is receiving medical attention, and of course she's starting her very first game in this competition. Known face in the NWFL, but this will be her first time starting the game in Ikene. Of course, she's trusted ahead of Ohia Doris, who was in goal on Matchday 1 against Nassau Amazons, and of course Matchday 2 against Remo Stars Ladies. And that's a cross, but that would be an attempted goal, but Milano would safely gather that into her bosom.
That was a good chance.
A very good chance right there, and that is some of the things to expect from a player like Goodness Osigwe. A very, very solid right-footed shot, and that would be another attempted goal for Edo Queens, who will look to start their onslaught early on in this game. And of course, Naija Ratels have been the one to soak in pressure so far.
You know, when you play against some of the best teams, you tend to show the quality that you have. Yeah, the game between Rivers and Edo showed the quality that Edo possesses, and you can see how they troubled Rivers' defense. But here they are again, and it looks like because of how Naija Ratels are approaching the game, it's a little bit scrappy from the Edo end, and we haven't seen the best quality from Goodness Osigwe, who I thought as a substitute yesterday against Rivers was splendid. She was fantastic. She had chances upon chances as well. We haven't even seen Essien so far in this game, and what she did against Rivers yesterday.
Definitely talking about Essien. But before we go on, Edo Queens out with another opportunity to go at goal, but Milano will quickly rush out to get that ball, and that is another opportunity that Edo Queens would not capitalize on. And back to the center circle is Naija Ratels. Some high balls here and there, and being unable to play the ball on the ground whenever they get possession. But now they've regained it. Naija Ratels still with the ball, and that would be Sibe. But Husseini would prevent her from unleashing any form of offensive threats, and to be a free kick right there to Edo Queens. And that's Ikpa Janet, who had for herself a really solid game yesterday against Remo Stars Ladies. But we're still back place back, and Edo Queens are still another opportunity to, and that is Okeke looking to cross the ball to a teammate in red, but she would decide to take it, and that is a poor attempt at goal, and would not really trouble Milano there. And you can see her raising her hands there in apologies, as there were bodies in the box waiting to receive the ball, and even outside the area. I mean, she had the opportunity to turn there, and of course she decided to go at goal. But what can you say about that particular opportunity right there? I mean, the play from Osigwe to find Okeke in that position.
Well, it was a really good spot. I think that was Essien who spotted her. And then Okeke had the ball. The turn wasn't exactly too clean, but she did. She was successful, and I thought that she was going to place the ball into the middle of the park where she had that teammate, but then that wouldn't be it. She opted to go for goal, and it was, I think, a poor attempt, but maybe a good one for that matter as well.
And we have a set piece taken by Sibe Rita, who scored from a direct free kick on match day 1. But that free kick will amount to nothing, and this time Edo Queens are back with the ball, and that's Osigwe. Osigwe have moved past her marker there, but the cross would not get to anyone in the box. But once again, another foul called against Edo Queens.
There's something here that's quite different from what we saw yesterday and when Edo Queens took on Rivers Angels. We saw Imemesian play as a striker at the top 9, while Anjo Mary was dropped back to help the midfield and also create chances. But today, Imemesian is playing in the midfield and letting Okeke as well as Anjo Mary up front.
And of course, you will talk about the tactics that we've seen in this competition. But someone is on the pitch, and the referee has signaled to the medics. That would be jersey number 29, Saliu Grace, who is holding her head in pain. But this team, Naija Ratels, known to field some of the youngest girls in this competition. Some of them who are mainstays in the Flamingos team, the under-17, like Adebayo Jumai. Our team who have seemed to be very relentless in their previous defeats in this competition. The first one against National Amazons, the other one against Remo Stars Ladies. Coming up against solid teams in this competition, but giving it their all. And now it's Sibe who would attempt to score another direct free kick, but this time it is Uzoma in goal. And that she would easily save. I mean, Uzoma is starting in place of Marufa Demola, who had a rather poor game. Edo Queens are also having not the best of starts in this first 15 minutes that we've seen so far, and that was Anjo Mary with a shot just under her boots, and that will roll safely into the hands of Omilano.
It was a good pass from Okeke. It was a little bit of a dummy. Ijemoke trying to find Anjo. Anjo's got the ball, but then her right-footed strike isn't just good enough.
Well, a strike not good enough, and Naija Ratels not being able to capitalize on the opportunity to break out on a counter-attack and allow the Edo Queens to quickly get behind the ball, and that forced them to a corner kick right there. And there's a substitution, an early one again from Naija Ratels, like we saw yesterday. This time around, they beat their record of yesterday. It was in the 20th minute. This time it's in the 15th minute, with Oluwatemisope Alayode coming in for Glory Sunday. And I mean, what is going in the mind of Stephen Keshi making this very early subs?
Samson Keshi.
Samson Keshi. Beg your pardon. And that's our attempts at a corner from Sibe. Corner taken. Ratel still with the ball, but dispossessed this time around by Emen Essien there. I mean, a substitution in the 20th minute yesterday, another substitution in the 15th minute today. I mean, is it that we should be concerned about the fitness of his girls in this competition, or is there something else that he thinks whenever he makes these early subs in his game so far?
I think they are tactical plans. He must have spotted something. He's the coach. He knows what the game plan is. And if he feels like his players aren't exactly executing that game plan, it's only fair to change. But maybe changing too early might not be the ideal thing. But like I said, he must have spotted something and he said, well, let's go for this change.
Well, that was Saliu Grace with an attempt at the net, but of course it's going to be a side netting and a goal off target. But Edo Queens would try to build from the back again. And that would be Osigwe with the ball once more. Osigwe would take it into the area. And there are calls for a handball from the players there, but the referee will signal for them to continue playing.
Let's be fair. I'd rather see MMSN up front trying to act as the attacker than number 9, and I haven't been impressed with Okeke and Mirianjo so far.
With Edo Queens looking for a win today, I mean, they can't afford not to win today. If they are looking to retain their title, you can maybe understand why Moses Odoko has decided to put all of his attacking threats in this game. Okeke, Osigwe, Essien, and Joe, everybody's on the pitch from the very first minute of the game. And after 80 minutes play, it's still 0-0. Naija Ratels 0, Edo Queens 0. And Saini with the ball. Saini crosses it into the area. Naija Ratels clear. Not totally, as Edo Queens are still with the ball, but someone is on the field. That is some beautiful play from Edo Queens to keep the ball, but of course that would go for a throw-in to the Benin Arsenal. Throw-in to be taken by Miracle Saini, rated as one of the best 50 players under 20 in 2024 by Go.com. Some of the firepower in this team, and that is a very good ball for Edo Queens, and that will be the first goal. MNSN mentioned earlier on, the MVP from the last edition, the goal scorer for them for their very first goal in this competition yesterday, and again she is the first Edo Queen player to find the back of the net. MNSN with her 7th goal of the season to open the books for Edo Queens today. And of course, you cannot take anything away from that beautiful piece of play from Edo Queens and Joe Mary there. Of course, getting the ball to Hussein, who crosses it, and Essien, who is very, very dangerous at defending, at of course going at goal, would go for that one, and it is currently Edo Queens who lead by a goal to nil after 20 minutes of play.
It was a fabulous hold-up play from Mirianjo, finding and connecting with Goodness Osigwe. Osigwe spotted, of course, MMSN in the 18-yard box, free unmarked, and all she did was send a cross in. It was a little bit difficult for the Ratels ladies to clear, and immediately after that, it was MMSN, the goal scorer, of course, yesterday for Edo Queens as well, to slot that ball kindly past face Omilana, and that will be the first goal of the day as Edo Queens to take the lead.
Essien with her 7th goal of the season, 2nd of this playoffs. And of course, an opportunity for her or any other person to get another goal as Mirianjo takes this corner. But it would go past the head of everybody in the 18, and of course go for a Naija Ratels throw-in.
It's starting to take shape, surely for Edo Queens.
Definitely for Edo Queens, and then you can understand. And that's another opportunity for Edo Queens. Okeke with the ball right now. She would give it to Essien, who would score her brace. That is a brace for Essien. to show a beautiful order play from Okeke, who passes it to Essien there. And Essien will slot it in easily way past Omilano to get our third goal of this playoffs. And now we can start counting. That's Essien right there. 2 goals in 2 minutes. MVP for the last edition, like I mentioned earlier on. And Moses Aduko is pumped. 22 minutes, Edo Queens are leading by 2-0.
2 goals in 2 minutes. That is a fantastic work of Edo Queens. It is a connection for me. I talked about maybe putting MMSN up front to be Asaka. And immediately that happened. You could see 2 quick goals from Edo Queens, and they are running that defense of Naija Ratels ragged. That's what we want to see. This is what we want to see. The connection, especially Okeke getting that one through to MMSN, tells a lot of story, and how the build-up eventually came. That was what made that goal what it was. And there was a calmness for me when MMSN got the ball, the way she calmed down, spotted where she wanted that ball to go through, and nicely, sent that ball into the back of them with her right foot. That was just ecstasy, like you already described it, and it's exactly what we want to see at this level.
Ecstasy for the Edo Queens, but I'm very, very sure the smear in the minds and faces of Naija Ratels. They've conceded 2 goals already in the first 23 minutes of this encounter, despite holding their ground in the earlier moments in this game. But they will look to make something out of it, try to get something early also in this game. That's Mosho Paulina, who is starting today. She came as a substitute yesterday in the 20th minute. I mean, she was the first sub we saw yesterday in this game, or in the game yesterday between Remo Stars Ladies and Naija Ratels.
Well, Joy, there isn't any surprises here, because in about 4 matches so far that these 2 sides have played, Naija Ratels haven't beaten Edo Queens yet, so they are still searching for their first victory against Edo Queens. So that's exactly what it is. They have lost, of course, their previous 2 matches in 3 encounters. Their only draw, of course, came in the 3-winner. That was in the 2-all draw at the Samuel Media Stadium. That was in Benin City in the 2021-2022 season. So they are still searching for that very win, their first win against the defending champions, Edo Queens.
Still searching for their very first win against the defending champions. Defending champions showing the stuff of champions here as they started this game on a very bright note, leading by 2-0. And with 6 changes made, Dorcas, you can definitely say that Moses Aduko has been repaid so far with the trust he has put in the girls, in which he's trusted to prosecute this game for him today.
Well, yes, he has faith in his team, and that's what makes them rich. Not just in the quality, but also on the bench. He went into the transfer market, got players that he thought he needed, because if you're going to fight for titles, you would need not just the first 11 to have quality, but those on the bench, when they come in, they should be able to replace and at the same time, do their stuff as it is. So that's what we're seeing here. So that's the trust that a coach can have for his players.
Talking about trust, Edo Queens are once again. But there's another substitution with Oshua, who I mentioned earlier on, off. Second substitution for Naija Ratels in less than 30 minutes of play. And it's Oluwase Anani, I beg your pardon, is coming on for Paulina Oshua in this game. Edo Queens with an opportunity to get another goal, and it's Osigwe who would take that one way off the bar.
A good chance once again. Edo Queens, like I said, have they've come into the game alive. They're looking so brilliant with how they have initially started. So brilliant work from goodness of Sigrid. We do know that she's a fantastic player. She showed that against Rivers yesterday, and today, yes, she hasn't exactly had a fun field day, but when she has the ball, when the ball is on her feet, she knows what she wants to do. And once again, it was a ball that I thought she should have done better, and she just raised the ball too high.
Well, she's back with the ball again, and of course that's what go for. Another opportunity to press and Christian Tali in this game, but that will be stopped by Captain Olubumi Oladeji of Naija Ratels, as Naija Ratels looking to press this time. Cross into the box, but nobody to capitalize on that, and you can see the camera on Saliu Grace.
Was a delayed response from Saliu Grace, who should have attacked that ball. The cross was a perfect delivery, but I thought a reaction to that cross into the area was rather slow. You should be expectant of such crosses that comes in, but Saliu Grace at that point in time, she wasn't expecting. She wasn't exactly communicating with her teammates on that very one. So I think that is on her, as I thought she should have done better. But good play from Naija Ratels for the first time in the first 28 minutes.
First 28 minutes, it's still Edo Queens who lead this encounter by 2-0. Both goals scored by NMSN. Who now have 7 goals this season. And they'll be looking to